All right. I think my opening has the hiccups, and I'm gonna have to fix that later. Oh, hey everyone. How y'all doing tonight? I still have some congestion going on. I still probably feel like crap. Hey, Sean Coffee. It. Yeah, it is. Hey, Grace Case. Hey, April. Oh man. How's everyone doing tonight? I was up in the air if I was gonna stream because I got to looking at it and I was like, oh man, y'all, Sunday is Mother's Day, and like that's a big day for like moms. So, oh, it's okay. I needed a good laugh after all. Oh, hey Juju, after everything that's been going on today, y'all, man, I needed a good laugh. So, okay, I've told y'all about the community manager, right? She is on my ass now. Oh my goodness. So I get I get a text today, and then we get, a violation notice or two, maybe three, slapped on our door. And I think she might have actually like really overstepped herself this time, right? So oh, now granted, we have been trying to get this van moved for a long time. Hi, cool gamer. Sorry, I can't read. Hi, cool gamer. Nice to have you here. So, we have a van that was needed to be gotten rid of. It was involved in an accident. The insurance company paid us off. They bought the car technically. Their responsibility to come get it. It's theirs now. Well, they wouldn't. They didn't. It's been sitting there, so we can't do anything with it. I can't get it plated. It's not my car. It's not my car anymore. And I asked the community, I was like, well, can you tow it? And she was like, well, we need the title on it. And I was like, well, I don't have the title. So I can't give you something I don't have because it's not my car. So she gave me a violation for the car being here. Apparently she did that to everyone in the community though that had a broke down vehicle. And that's cool. I get it. That was a complete violation, right? Except she gave everyone 24 hours to rectify the violation. And 3 hours after she gave out the violations, she had the tow company come in and remove all the vehicles. That's not 24 hours. That's 3 hours. The minute the tow truck came in and started taking away said vehicles, she left the property, right? So she wasn't here. Couldn't talk to her. Couldn't call her. Couldn't get her on the phone. Emailed her. Those went through. Sent her some texts. So, I was like, look, I'll take that violation. That's all me. Now, she's gone a little, oh my goodness, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, I did get it removed, so I'm not worried about it. And technically, I mean, it wasn't my like I couldn't technically I couldn't physically move that car anymore because it wasn't my car to move. So, you know, they wanted it moved, they got it moved. Hey, Mrs. C. Um, and luckily she did not give me a now if I want the car back, I'd have to go to the tow company and pay the impound fees that are involved, but I don't want the car back. Y'all do it, cool. But there was a cat sitting on my porch that was not mine. She took a picture of it and then gave me a pet violation. Yeah, $100 pet fine for it because the cat wasn't registered. Cat's not my cat. It's my neighbor's cat. I mean, cats sit everywhere. Is Both of my neighbors have complained about dog poop in their yards, but yet it's their dog's poop in their own yard. Okay, because like my little dog, when she goes out, we've already talked about this. It is what it is. And it was funny that I said that because when she told me about that one, when yeah, I've already talked to her. She did remove that one. Um, okay, it's funny you asked that because it wasn't me. It wasn't me that did it. It was our neighbor. So not only our neighbor, well, she's a street behind us and two houses down, but she knows my sister-in-law and they're really good friends. Um, she called corporate on the manager and complained because Carmen had come at her about the cats as well. And there were other issues and other things. And I no, actually, I know you were teasing me, but it actually was just that. Um, uh, she called, and I think neighbor actually had mentioned our lot number, and yeah, yeah. So no, I don't think it was Squaw Bob that did it, but and Mrs. K, she didn't. That's not her real name. That's what we call her. Mrs. K didn't. She didn't mean to get anyone in trouble, but one of her neighbors also had a broke down car, and she said she talked to him about the broke down cars and this and that. And I think what it was is on top of Mrs. K calling, a couple of other people called, and Carmen got her butt reamed about it. The community manager. Forget I said that name. But the community manager got her butt reamed. And this is just what I think happened because the call took place like 4 days ago. It was the middle of last week. So let's say Wednesday last week is when the neighbor called. And then they told Mrs. K that they were going to call her and find out what was going on like the next day or the day after. So so now she's all upset because they're questioning what she's doing and blah blah blah, and it it's just it's something we deal with all the time because it's every time that she gets a bunch of complaints and they say that they're going to call her on it, and takes 24 hours to rectify a situation and give them three. There was one lady that was coming up as I was going out. Yeah, I really thought about that one. I did. Yeah, it's getting a little too much. Like this is seriously why we're thinking about moving again. So now I understand why my neighbor moved and just said, you know what, I'm done with it. I'm done with putting up with it. Because if it's not every year it happens, it's every other year. And if it's not us, it's someone else that's saying it's happening to them. So it's just a lot of nonsense, really, that's going on. Yeah. I was watching um what's his name? John Oliver was talking about that. And this one lady had her home bought out from under her for like $2. Yeah. You know what? It's starting to be a really tempting idea. It really is. And yeah, I mean, and that was another thing that kind of upset me about it because she called me about the cats, right? And was like, "Look, these cats are a problem." And I told her, I was like, "Look, we won't feed them. I'll get them out of here." So I was doing that. We've got a couple of rescues we're working with to take them. Oh. So I'm like, you know what? I'm still gonna rehome some of these outside cats because I said I would, but at this point, I just want to be like, you know what? Here's what I think about it, and I'm not gonna do nothing to help you or the community anymore. So just screw it. But I don't. I'm afraid to think of what she might do to get rid of the cats. So yeah, that was so crazy. She paid her house off, and then they like foreclosed on it for some taxes for like $3. Like, what is that? Oh yeah, man, I can only imagine now. I could see like us doing like a big project with a pool and a bunch of goldfish. That would be great. And you're just like, no, you're not putting fish in a pool. It might. It really might. Well, I think Juju is probably closer to the frozen tundra than I am now. On that project. Oh. Yeah, like but I almost wish I did live in an HOA because at least I'd have a handbook and know what the violations are. And like with my dog, right? Apparently, like you're supposed to register your pets, and if you're a homeowner, you still have to register them. But I never got a notice of that either. So it is what it is. But you know what? It's fine. I'll register my little doggo. And so I don't know. It's just I am a mess. I would totally just I'm total chaos right now. I'm a mess. But oh, me and him actually talked about that. I think it's like I wonder how many fish you could put in one of those. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm still very congested. What? Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. And this is why we need impromptu game nights, so I don't think about filling swimming pools with fish. Oh my goodness. Sorry, y'all. I was very congested and I was like, this is gonna get bad if I don't do something about this. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, I was really contemplating about streaming tonight or not. Like I said, I had a crappy day, and Then on top of the crappy day kind of thing, um, everything was just running late, and yeah, and I was thinking Sunday I'm not gonna live stream because it's Mother's Day, and you know it's already gonna be a busy day for most people, and I know I've got stuff planned to do too, and I don't want to cut anything short. I don't even know what they're gonna do, but or if they're gonna do it on Saturday. Everything's up in the air right now. So if y'all want to have a game night this weekend, I am totally down for that. Oh my goodness, that would be great. I have. Oh man. So yeah, if it, impromptu game night, that would be awesome. Oh, I am sorry, April. And see, it's one of those days. It's either emotional for someone, or it's not, or they're busy, and I can stream Monday, and we can all talk about the weekend or something. Maybe we'll have a Mouse and B show Monday. I would float with the fishies too. I can't actually swim. That's kind of funny too. I actually do not know how to swim. Um, when I was 3 years old, we lived in. I think we actually moved there maybe when I was one, and I think we left either when I was 3 or 4. I don't really remember because I was really young, and it's been a lot of years since then. But my aunt in Odessa, Texas, because that's where we lived, had a swimming pool in her backyard, and everyone would put the kids out there to go swimming, and I was the baby. I mean, I was literally the baby of the bunch, and so my sisters were told to watch after me, and I was I was baby, and I was a little thing, and they were like, "Hey, don't get in the pool," because they were playing some game. They were like, "We'll get you in a minute." I don't remember this. I was baby, but they were playing, and so I walked around to the deep end of the pool, and then proceeded to walk right into the deep end of the pool. Luckily, my cousin saw me do it, and he pulled me out. You know what, fish nerd? I don't think you should do that. I think you might get in trouble. And so, yeah, I literally walked into the deep end of the pool, and I had memories of it for a long time. And when I was after that, like anytime they tried to put me in a bathtub, like I freak out and be like, no. Um, I was a big shower person for a long time. But yeah, like I never learned to swim because of it, and I wouldn't get in the pools or anything. I think it was about when I was 10 that I finally got into my first swimming pool again. But I was like, nope. Big bodies of water and me do not get along together. you know, I thought that too, Juju. It's funny you say that. You think a parent who had that happen to a kid would get that kid swimming lessons? They got my sister swimming lessons, and she already knew how to swim. I'm like, oh, mom, dad, I love you. Y'all are great. But I kind of wonder about your tactics sometimes. I was like, did you think she was gonna teach me to swim? Because she's probably gonna just try to put me back in the pool. Oh man, I kind of want to get one of those. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. You know what? We need to get one of those little aquarium chairs. Yeah, um, that was the memory I had too because I actually did have to call 911. It wasn't 911 at the time, but they did have to call an ambulance because they couldn't get me breathing like the water out of my lungs. So that might be the reason I am the way I am now. I don't know, but I kind of think it might be. But yeah, they don't know how long I was actually in the water for. They don't think it was very long at all. But yeah, and it was yeah, like I was probably I was anywhere from the age of two one okay, not take that. It was either one to three when that happened to me. And I knew that water scared me after that. That I just did not like the water. So I just didn't get in it again. I was like, nope, don't need the water. No pool for me. As I got older, um, it got better, but I remember very early on, like I didn't like my head to go underwater. I didn't like the water to get up, too far past my waist. If they tried to wash my hair, I would get like, if they didn't do it in the kitchen sink, oh man, I would rant and rave. It was bad for a while. Yeah, and my cousin, he was actually older. He was probably about 10 years old, and my sister would have been about 10 or 11. Um, because my older one is 10 years older than me, and then my other one is 5 years older than me. And like once he found me, like everyone got in gear and like pulled me out and everything. But it's not an experience that you forget for a while. And like I remember it happened. Like I knew that it happened to me, even without anyone telling me. I remembered it, but I didn't exactly remember all of it. And then when everyone told me exactly how it happened from their perspective, um, was really scary, especially for my mom, because my mom had also lost two sons in a car accident, and that's a story for another day. But you know, yeah, okay. You know what? Here's what's gonna happen. Well, y'all pick up the bee, and we'll all head down to Florida, and then we'll just hang out and yeah, we'll look at some fish. Yeah, and my mom was actually there. My mom, my aunts, my dad, like everyone was in the house chilling, and all the kids were just out in the back. And it was like, man, y'all, like next time put some adult eyes back there. But we were kids. It was the early '80s. Things were way different. I will take both the beer and the wine, and maybe a side of rum. Oh no! Well, it's Florida. There's fish everywhere. It's the ocean. Exactly right. Like, okay, I had an ATV, y'all. It was of the three-wheel variety too. So not the safer of the two, of the four-wheel or the three-wheel variety. I had the three-wheel variety. My dad got it because of a job he worked. I don't know what that was, and I'm afraid to go look. But so he brought it home. He got a three-wheeler, and he got my sister a scooter, like a Honda scooter, like a for real, not a like with an engine that looks like a motorcycle, that kind of scooter. And yeah, we got it. She got a helmet. I didn't. It was like, oh. So yeah, um, I am really surprised at some of the things my parents did that I actually survived. Riding bikes, we didn't have helmets or arm pads or knee pads. I learned to roller skate without any, equipment. I've had a lot of broken bones now, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I've had a lot of broken bones. Ankles out the wazoo, broken legs. Um, I still have scars on my legs from the ATV that I had. It's not funny. It's really not funny. But it's like I think back and I'm like, man, I so would have not done any of this stuff with my kids. And maybe that's why I didn't, is because I was like, actually I did have a car seat as a baby though. When I was born, that was just when uh that was when the car seats had become a new thing. Like you got a car seat for a baby. And when the year I was born was the year that Huggies actually had plastic on them with the little plastic tabs. And my mom would buy me the Huggies diapers because I would kick my legs and I would giggle because of the way they crinkled. It's like I don't even remember how I remember all these stories, but I do. Now just don't ask me what I ate last week because I can't tell you that. Um, man, there was one time. Okay, so with my kids, right? I have had some incidences with my own kids. My middle kiddo. Now, I wouldn't buy for the Christmas tree. Okay, the ornaments, right? I would get the shiny, the ball ones. They're usually made of glass, right? But when you have an infant that's gonna grab everything, you don't want to buy glass balls. Hey, clumsy, how you doing? So I got plastic ones, and they had like string on the end to put them on the tree, so you didn't have to use hooks because you're trying to be baby proof enough with the house, right? So my kid took one off the tree, and the little plastic part that connected to the ball had come off, and she pops it in her mouth and she swallows it. We ended up in the ER for that one. Luckily, there were no sharp edges on it, and they looked at the type of plastic it was, and they were like, "Hey, she's going to be able to pass that. It might hurt though when she goes to poop, and if she doesn't pass it in a couple of days, bring her back." Yeah, luckily she passed it, and we didn't have to bring her back. But I was very worried about that one. And then she stuck a sticker up her nose, and we couldn't get it out, and they had to actually flush her sinus cavity out. So that was fun. Mistakes happen. You turn your back 1 second on a kid, they're going to do something. So, and then, yeah, they are all over the place. Like you seriously, you got to watch a kid. Oh, and, if anyone tells you a baby cannot break a bone trying to learn to walk, no, that's so. My kiddo was 11 months old, and almost a year old, and she was crawling everywhere, and she was standing up, um, hanging on to the back of a kitchen table, like a kitchen chair, the chair for a kitchen table. There we go. And she got surprised when one of my husband's friends walked in. Kid fell back and caught themselves with their arm and literally put a hairline fracture in their arm. I'm like, how does this happen? Like, I'm all freaking out over here. And the doctor's like, this happens so often. And I'm like, I have never heard of this happening. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is awful. Oh man. So, yeah, like I have, man, and I have babysat and like watched a lot of kids. And I've got some scary stories, and I have some scary stories and some not so scary stories. I have some really silly stories too. Like especially, okay, the one with the watermelons, that was pretty funny. Um there was the one time my youngest kiddo broke a tooth on eating a cracker at school. And I was like, "Dear Lord, like was it like a super hard cracker or something?" But literally broke a tooth, right? And they had to go get it pulled. Luckily, it was a baby tooth. So it was going to come out anyway, and it wasn't anything to really pull it. And they had to use the laughing gas on him. Oh my goodness, that kid was like just babbling all kinds of nonsense. It was so funny. And we went afterwards. I had to stop by the drugstore to get some antibiotics for him. And she saw this great big sock monkey and was like talking to it. And yeah, so she's sitting there in the drugstore talking to it. So I'm like, we have to buy that thing now. And my middle kiddo, I met I actually met President Carter thanks to my middle kiddo and now the kid that I've like adopted as my son. So yeah, so that was fun because we'd gotten left behind. We were at a field trip at the Carter Center. Um, it was like second, third grade, something like that. And I was in charge of my daughter and Russell and two other kids. And these kids were like a handful anyway. And it was me and Mr. Mousy. We were both there. And we realized we've been left behind. So we're like, oh my gosh, we got to catch up. Well, as soon as they heard us say, oh my gosh, we've been left behind, the kids run. They like bolt. They start running to catch up. And we're like, no. And they run and they turn a corner and we're catching up with them. And it's like Jimmy Carter. Um, I think it was, okay, it was Jimmy Carter, three, what were probably, his bodyguards, and two other people he was talking to. And he wasn't even supposed to be there. And we were like, okay, well, we won't get to meet him, but at least we got to go to the Carter Center. And literally, me and Mr. Mousy grab Russell and our kiddo, and we're like, stop! Right before they ran right into him. I was like, that would have been so great. You guys run in and push over a former president of the United States of America. How funny is that? I'm like, man, you kids are something else. Now, see, I used to like have like We broke a thermometer once, and my dad actually put the mercury in a tin. He was like, "Don't touch that," but so he could show me how like it was liquidy, like a liquid metal. But he threw it away. He disposed of it. I don't know how or what he did with it, but I'm hoping he didn't just toss it in the garbage. I was not a terrible kid, but I was a very curious kid. Oh my goodness, you swallowed a quarter. I hope you did not get back 2 dimes and a nickel. I'm sorry, I had to. It's like if that comes back, we got problems. Okay. Oh, we got new comments here. Let's go look at that. I'm trying to think if there's like any other like cool things off the top of my head I can remember. Oh, that thinking back on that three wheeler that I had, right? So I was I was a mean little thing to my sister. I was a mean little shit. I'm not even gonna lie. She would do mean stuff to me. So like whenever I got my chance to like go back and be like, hey, I'm gonna get you back for that. I totally did. I totally did. So I had a three wheeler, and I could fit under. My dad was a house mover, so there were always trucks and things on dollies on trucks and stuff, and I could ride my three wheeler under those things because I was so short. And my sister saw me doing it, so she was like, "Oh, well, if you can do it, I can do it." And she's like, "Hey, can I ride your three wheeler?" I'm like, "Oh, sure, go ahead." And she took off, and she went to go the same way I did under this one truck, except she was too tall and she couldn't fit down under the handlebars like I did. So she got stuck, and they literally had to come jack up a house to get her out from under it. Oh, I didn't tell her not to do it. I could have told her not to do it. I didn't. So, oh, but yeah. So, how is everyone else's week going on since I've just been blabbering about the, old memories and, my sucky community manager? I just have to put the water in my 5 gallon aquarium, and then oh no, we'll have to get you to come on, Sean, and tell the story one day. And I've been feeling like super nostalgic lately. I don't know what's been going on with that, but I am. I am very excited for that. I've been looking for that one. You know me, I am a fan of fire. Oh, is there any special materials we're going to need for that, by the way? Because I have got to go to the store as soon as Mr. Mousy gets home. Oh yeah, we will have to tell the little kitten story. Yes. Oh, and I should not be permanently deaf in my right ear, by the way. It should just be all the congestion, and it's going away, and my ears have started to popping. I think I'm gonna do it with a candle. That might be easier. Yeah, I need to be monitored. Aw. Yeah, I like it when, sorry, my dog is like sitting here running in a circle. Mr. Mousy came out to get a drink and he didn't let Anari back in the room with him. So she's just like running in a circle right now, trying to get back in the bedroom. I'm like, that's not going to open the bedroom door, doggo. That's not going to do it. Oh, yes, I am going to use a candle. Sorry about that. I am going to use a candle on that. Oh, yeah, that. I am ready for that story too. Okay, cool. I got you on that one. I'm actually going to copy that right now and put that in a notepad so I remember to get everything ready for tomorrow. See, my mom also was not a fan of the Siamese cats either because we had one and after I was born it ran away. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Good to see you, dear. I think we lost Miss Cassandra and Grace case. It's okay. We ran them off. It's okay. I'm just joking with y'all. So yeah. Okay, cool. I am still recovering from the gunk I got from the vacation. Like, still full of gunk. Hopefully, I'll be better. I have been taking a ton of vitamin C, and finally, I'm draining. So, we are good. And the doctor says it's draining. So, apparently, I had fluid behind my ear. And when I got up into the clouds with all that pressure from them pressurizing the cabin, it just kind of like stuck it there. Oh, hi Jordan. Thanks for joining us. Um, so yeah, I guess I need to update y'all on the sea monkeys. So too, because it's been a while since I've talked about them. So it has come time that I need to really update their enclosure. They're in a half-gallon little beta. They sell it as a half-gallon beta tank, and no beta should go in that. It's too small. Um, so I used it for the sea monkeys, right? They've been in that. They are now reproducing on their own. Every couple of days, I find the one or two boys I've got in there because I only ever get like two guys full grown at a time, and they are always like hanging out with the girls. So now I have like a ton of babies in there. Like there are so many in there, and I have a constant I have constantly have algae growing now. So I really, really need to upgrade that tank. Okay, you know what? When we will make a we'll do a we'll schedule a live stream. I'll get with you tomorrow, Fish Nerd, and we'll schedule a date to tell that story. And yeah, Oh, yes, I've had sea monkey disasters occur. So I started the Sea Monkey Project back in January of 2023. And when I started it, I decided to try it in a 5 gallon crescent moon shaped aquarium because I'd seen a bunch of other YouTubers, have these big aquariums full of sea monkeys. And I was like, hey, I want to do that too. Well, it's not that easy to get them started in that. And I would have the water going, and at first I just had an air pump, and I eventually got a heater because I figured, maybe it was too cold because it's summer, and they just weren't tolerating the cold well. Um, but every few days, I'd noticed that the amount of sea monkeys was just, like they weren't as many as there were. I would fish them all out. I would save the ones I could, and I changed the water, clean it up, and it just wasn't working. Then I bumped it down to a 1/2 gallon um, setup, the little beta tank. Um, and that actually worked. I used sand as a substrate with instead of gravel because I'd used gravel in my bigger 5 gallon enclosure. And when I went to sand and just a small little 10-watt heater with the air stone, I suddenly, they suddenly started growing out to adult, and I wasn't having to change the water, just mostly top the water up. So if you don't have it to where the water can evaporate off quick enough and you can add fresh water to it, that really messes with your sea monkeys. So if you start wanting to raise brine shrimp and you want to raise them to an adult, start in like a 1/2 gallon container, even like a shoebox. If you want to see them, like an acrylic container is best, or even glass. Something that you can, put an air stone in, a little bit of sand, and you should be good. If you can get some algae, like green algae, that would be best. I have brown algae in my tank, and they are eating it, so it's working. Thank you for your questions. I do appreciate that. Yes, and okay, yes, we will have to schedule that. Yeah, it was a lot. It took me 3 months to figure out what I was making mistakes on and correct those mistakes. And I really do need to put together a video on how I initially set them up and everything. So um, other people that want to start can, you know, not have to struggle as much as I did. Because it was. If I had not had Fish Nerd in here helping me out, I might have never um, gotten it right. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I honestly, y'all, I have had so much fun. Oh, they are. I got a video of it, Teresa, of them actually, becoming friends. So yeah, they are. And me and Fish Nerd have been talking about another project that's going to come before the great big project, because I can actually get that set up like tomorrow. And all I have to do is actually just really fill the tank on this. I'm waiting tomorrow. My youngest kiddo and Mr. Mousy are going to come in here and move their the tank stand into here, into the living room for me, so I can move my 10 gallon aquarium onto it, and the 5 gallon aquarium's going in another spot that I can film better at. And I'm going to get with Fish Nerd. We will talk about a couple of dates for streams, and probably on my next one, he will be there to help me. He'll be there to help me unveil the next smaller project that's bigger than the sea monkey, but yet still small. Oh, so Yes, it is. Now I'm gonna have to make that short. Um, but yeah, they've been, it's really cool because I constantly have so many adults in the tank now, and anytime I go and turn the light on to just check on them, they're just all there, babies. I do feed them the spirulina powder twice a week now, and they get all kinds of happy when I give them that too. Like they come over and they'll like swim. You can, cause like I've decided instead of just sprinkling it on top because not everyone comes to the top. I'll make like a little paste, like a liquid almost, and I'll drop it in, and it starts to dissipate in the water to where you can still see it, and they swim through it. They'll come back, and you'll just see them swimming back and forth in it. So I have a lot of fun with the sea monkeys. They are forever going to be my favorite thing. And I'm going to keep the tank going as long as I can. It took 3 months. So January, February, March was when I got them all to grow up to adults. And now it's May, 2 months. So it's been going for 2 months. And we'll see how long the tank actually, you know, how long this colony of sea monkeys actually goes. But when I top the water up, I just, I've got like okay, this is going to be weird, but I keep a Taco Bell cup. It's one of the small ones, like the smallest drink size they have. And I put like a spoonful of salt in there. It's not even a big spoon. It's like a little half a teaspoon of salt in there with some water. Mix it up, top the tank off, and it's good to go. So, yep, that's my sea monkeys. Oh, what is going on? My charger is not charging, but I think it's not plugged in. Oh, excuse me, guys. But yeah, I'm gonna get with Fish Nerd. We will DoorDash, but for sea monkeys. Oh, yeah, we'll have to do the whole Roxanne, with the little sea monkey short. Oh, well, y'all, it is pushing that hour mark. And I would talk longer, but I'm congested. And it's almost 11 because I started streaming way late tonight. um, I will probably go live again Monday and then do Monday, Wednesday, Sunday for next week since I'm not going to go live Sunday. But yeah, it's been fun, y'all. And I am going to go take my nighttime meds and try to get some sleep tonight. I don't know if I will, but I'm going to try. All right, yes, yeah, it's warming up. It's time to shed the winter coat. Oh man, I hadn't heard that in forever. All right, y'all. Um, Also, I've heard that Shenanigans is now going live on Thursdays, starting to starting next week. Oh my goodness, Sean Coffee. If it gets warm enough for that, I would say go for it. I shave half my head every summer, so um, Shenanigans now on Thursdays. So woohoo! Maybe do a couple of impromptu Tuesday streams. Um, and me and Juju are gonna schedule a Mouse and Bee show, so we'll get back to y'all with that too. Yeah, I would say no. Like I'd be sad if Mr. Mousey shaved his hair, because like that's a lot of hair to lose. His hair goes like down to halfway his back, and he's a big guy. Like he's a tall guy. So all right, I will see y'all later. Do the YouTubey things, hit the like, the subscribe, ring the bells, go over, check Shenanigans out. Juju, drop me a link for Shenanigans. And Is Clumsy still here? Clumsy, are you in here? You know what? I have some Vicks Vapor Rub, but I really would like to try a nose stick now at this point because I am so congested. Oh my goodness, this is so horrible. I feel like I'm talking like Patty and Selma from The Simpsons. Um, and yeah, let's see if we can drop some links here. Juju, are you link dropping for me? If not, it's fine. I'll get the links. I will do the linky thing. It's okay. All right. But yeah, I tomorrow I have to get out and I will look for one of those Vicks Vapor Sticks because woo wee, the Vicks Vapor Rubs works well at night. Yep, and hopefully I'll have a new outro coming soon too, and an intro. So I got to figure that thing out. Yeah, we need a Mouse and Bee show. So we'll have to plan one of those. All right, y'all. Good night. I will see y'all next time. Bye.